All right. Thank you all for joining us today. Sorry that we're getting a little late start. We'll try to keep it under an hour and have you guys out of here by 1 p.m. So appreciate everybody taking time to join us and appreciate Natalie helping put together the agenda and getting the information out to everyone. I know that there's a couple people that wanted to be here that can't. Wayman King is one of them with the Boys and Girls Clubs, but he has offered to be a part of a committee that we're thinking about forming, and he wants to continue to participate. And I know at some point Nick Garcia is going to jump in and be a part of the conversation too, if he can, knowing that his schedule's crazy with everything that's happening. Yeah, today's the day. So what an exciting thing. Um, the first agenda item is Soccer for Success program, the U.S. Soccer Foundation, and its core trainings opportunity, the school-based programs that they offer, after school options, the coach mentor training and the coach mentor training count her in. And the the bottom line is that they're ready to activate as quickly as possible with partners. And it's something that they're offering funding to get things off the ground and started. I think that I thought that the next step was we were going to meet the Western representative that we kind of last time we met, we had the Eastern representative on, and there was going to be a connection made between us and the Western representative. Natalie, if you have any more insight into this agenda
Yeah,
item and what we're talking about here, I'd love to hear it.
we haven't met with Rick yet, but we met with Christine and Lisa, who had done the program with KCK Schools, just to see how that partnership went. So they're going to connect us to Rick. But from our conversation with Christine, like it was a very positive experience. They trained all their PE teachers. The training was free. They got free equipment. They got free curriculum. They had continued support through the programming. Um, and there seems to be kind of like an a
Did
la
they
carte
collect
option.
data? Do you know? Do you
Uh,
know if they collected any data?
we didn't get into that. I didn't ask, so I don't know.
Okay. We should probably schedule some time. I mean, if you're gonna, yeah, I'd love to talk to Christine about it, and then I want to meet the Western guy as soon as possible too. So,
Yeah, it sounds like there's a variety of curriculum based on the age of the participant, and then like how intensive, like with the PE teachers, it was very basic soccer skills. But if you have athletes that have already been introduced to skills, I think there's different levels too that could be provided. And then independent of that curriculum, there's just coach and mentorship training too that can be separate programs or built into that
that's
curriculum.
awesome. Okay. Any questions from anyone that might have, or any insights? Anything to add? Um,
Yeah, my only question was just, uh I guess thanks for meeting with Christine, Natalie. What
I don't know if I froze or if Robin froze.
I think Robin froze.
Okay.
Um, there are three questions down here at the bottom of this agenda item, and we can kind of talk about that as a group. I think sharing information about this. I definitely am leaning into partnering with the Parks and Rec, the Wyandotte County Parks and Rec for sure. But I think any of the parks, obviously, what the current did with the Parks and Rec Department of Kansas City, Missouri, is a good example of what this could look like. I'm not sure where the curriculum is coming from for their activation. What obviously it can be ad hoc. It doesn't, you get someone who's coached soccer. Every year when I went to go coach soccer, I didn't have a curriculum. I just went and started teaching kids to play soccer. I wish I would have had more training as a dad coach. I never had played the game. I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew that getting the kids out there running around and passing the ball and getting touches and moving through cones and playing sharks and minnows and having fun and celebrating, like that was just kind of what we did. This seems a lot more structured than that. And obviously with fully funded by Adidas, there might be more opportunities to make it worth the while of us as we move forward. I think there's young people out there that have played the game of soccer that are now not playing the game of soccer that would give their time and talent to be a part of some things like this. So I think there's some good opportunities to get some grassroots kids involved in something that actually teaches them how to be soccer coaches. So that's kind of cool too. So there's a lot here that they offer. Did we get Robin back?
Yes, it looks like it.
Oh. Robin, we lost you for a second.
Yeah, sorry about that. As you can see, I'm working elsewhere today, and I got dropped from their Wi-Fi. Yeah, I was just I was just trying to figure out what the next step should be. Is it getting still more information? Is it, just sharing it out again, or is it like trying to specifically identify potential providers that might be interested? I just I don't really know.
I think
Of course, we're happy to help guide things.
I think
but,
we should meet as a group. Anyone who's interested in trying to pursue this, we should meet with the Western representative for sure and get a good firm grip of what it is that they are offering. Clearly, I mean, obviously the package is immense. It's a lot, but and I I think that the one thing I keep hearing, and anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, but Kansas City has a lot of open spaces to do things like this. Like there are a lot of spaces out there. There's great spaces, there's okay spaces, there's not so great spaces, but anywhere you get a field with kids and a ball, you can do this if you can get the right community involvement, the right infrastructure, the right people. So maybe we put it out there that we're going to meet sometime next week or sometime soon and make it something that we ask US Soccer Foundation to come and see if we can get the representative here and answer some of the questions that you're asking, Robin.
Natalie, what are your you look like you're contemplating.
I'm reading because I get all the US soccer organizations mixed up, and I was wondering the one that was supporting that free current program, if it's Soccer Forward Foundation is different than this
It
one,
is
I think.
Soccer Forward
Okay.
is alike but not the same.
Soccer Forward, no, well, actually different. So the U.S. Soccer Foundation comes out of the '94 World Cup. Soccer Forward is tied to U.S. Soccer Federation now. So yeah, and it's like alphabet soup when you get into it, Natalie. It gets really confusing really fast.
Okay. I was thinking when we met with Christine, I think they really pushed that they weren't allowed to partner with the other soccer organizations. And I know in our previous conversation we talked about reaching out to Casey Mo Parks and Rec, but if they're already in agreement with the Soccer Forward Foundation, we might need to pivot to a different organization to partner with.
Yeah, my thought is they probably don't have an exclusive with Soccer Forward, and I don't think there's a sense, I don't know if they're competing, since they're offering funding. But that's just my gut. I don't know if that's to be true.
So Natalie, I know that we don't do an exclusive at United Soccer Coaches, and we work with the coaches. The Play Forward Foundation I'm working with as well, and they're not, the stuff I'm doing with them is not exclusive either. So both
Okay.
methods that we're looking at are more inclusive than exclusive, meaning we
Okay.
want people to get educated and, yes, we do it, but we just want people to get educated, right? So to speak. So if
Yeah,
that helps
good.
you.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
And then, I'm sorry, the other ones is Positive Coaches Alliance. We're working with, Soccer Without Borders we're working with. So yeah, it becomes pretty quick alphabet soup.
Yeah. Well,
So Natalie, say that again about, did you say something about you were in the process of meeting or setting up something with the West Coast guy, or that was just kind of in the queue?
I'm not even sure his coverage area. Bill thought he remembered that from the previous meeting. I was just referred that this person does after school, like that he comes with his team to facilitate the trainings in our region.
yeah, I just remember specifically him saying that he was the East Coast guy and we had a West Coast guy, but I don't know if that's to
Okay.
be true. I mean, maybe, but I mean, I think if we're going to move forward with something with them or with Soccer Forward or with Soccer Without Borders and any of them, if we want to do some things, I think I want to do some things. I'd be interested in moving something forward as a coalition. I think as a sports sector, trying to get more kids involved in playing sports, it seems like something we should try to do.
Mm-hmm.
Bill, you can also tie it in with the World Cup legacy stuff that's happening. So there's going to be a lot of things happening over the next few months as well, as we heard. But yeah, there's a lot happening around this stuff.
Yes. I think it just, yeah, it just makes sense to get the right person and maybe it's the same guy, but I think we just need to let him know that we're interested in moving something forward. What does that look like?
Yeah.
And there are people who want to try to get it done. And I think Nick would want to be involved. We can reach out to him and ask him, but I think he would jump at the chance and
Yeah.
Yep. And there's good people, whether it's Nick, Alan Jones is here too as well, and he's really good, so there's a lot of good folks around. It's just a matter of how you do it, so to speak. That's the advantage of being Kansas City, right? There's a lot of good soccer people here.
yeah. I'm trying to do something similar with basketball, so I think it's kind of matches my whole interest in how to move forward by building coalitions, small coalitions that work. Knowing that these sports are in silos, we kind of have to work within each sport, but we need a soccer foothold. So this seems like a great way to go forward.
I guess, Bill, I feel like the group needs to narrow down, like, our, or, so we're not like a singular school district they'd be meaning to put this on. So are we offering new programming within a group of partners or within existing programs an existing soccer program?
Yeah, I mean, I think that in I mean, I'm open to suggestion in terms of what we're offering, but what they're offering is a whole system of development around coach training. Sounds like marketing materials, funding for coach stipends to get them on the field, working with kids. We have to find access to kids. So we would figure out who we want to partner with to do that, which would, to me, is the Parks and Rec, which I know that the Parks and Rec and KCK are hungry for these kinds of things. I think that the school districts can help us tell the story that we're available, that we're part of this larger, national footprint of soccer development. And we have quality coaching that we've identified. We've also have a coach and training program that comes with the program, and it's a 10 to 8 week program, and we figure out how we want to get that started and move forward with it. I think that there's pockets of the city that are that would be interested in working with us around this, and I just don't quite know what it is we're doing. And
Yeah.
for
I'm
me,
wondering
if there wasn't, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, I just wonder maybe if like what we can do is we, the sports sector, can host a meeting, an information session, and then invite all these people, Bill, that you're mentioning to attend the meeting, and then try to get them there so they can hear this information, and then they can decide whether if they're interested or not. If they are interested, do they need to team up with, another program to get the numbers that they need? Um, I don't know. Does that kind of make sense? So like we can
Yes.
facilitate bringing people together, and then, like I don't know if we have the capacity, I know we don't have the capacity or the authority to kind of make any decisions, yes or no on it, but we can at least get people there and then they can make their decision.
Right. I would be willing to lead that. And, at some point, if Shareways needs to be the backbone organization that signs the MOU to move it forward, I it's I would do that. So
Yeah. Cool. What do
Yeah.
you think, Natalie?
Well, I see Alex on the call. I wonder, do you have any experience working with these types of programs or the US Soccer Foundation? Oh, you're muted.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm kind of between meetings and stuff, so I'm in my car. Yeah.
how's your baby?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
How's your baby?
She's doing great. She's amazing.
Good.
8.5
Yay.
weeks, so yeah, it's great.
It's crazy. Time
Um,
flies. All right.
So I think there's been a Soccer for Success program in Kansas City before, that was run not in connection to any club, that was going in Wyandotte and Missouri for a bit, but I believe it's totally fallen off. So I think the main guy who was leading it ended up joining Sporting City. His name is, I can't remember his last name, Diego something or other. So it's been done in Wyandotte and Missouri a bit. It was fairly successful. They did stuff like as an after school program. They put together teams and they put them in some rec leagues. And I think they lost momentum with COVID. So like a lot of programs just fell apart because they kind of just shut it, especially in Wyandotte and kind of Missouri. The kids didn't go back to school as fast. And so I think they lost momentum. So they're probably open to it, but and it's definitely a need, but I don't think anything's going right now. I think you're right to be talking about it just because with the World Cup in general, more kids will be interested in soccer than they were, a couple of years ago. So I think it does make sense. I think the biggest question I have is with these things is like these things require someone to take like fierce ownership of, because they're hard. You're basically, they make it sound easy, like, oh, we'll provide everything you need. No, it's like a startup. You're building a company or a small business from scratch, and it is hard work. It's long hours. It's like, managing volunteers is like managing, retail employees at minimum wage. It's very difficult. So I think the big thing is you need somebody to really take ownership of it, and you probably need to pay that person to do it and manage all those volunteers and to be excited, and they have to feel a calling to do it, but you've got to appoint someone to take fierce ownership, and then they're going to be busy with the volunteers, and they're going to be busy with networking with schools, and they're not going to have time to fundraise. And so this group should be like the fundraisers probably, and support and networking. And then you need someone to get on the boots on the ground and go do the work, and you got to support them. But you're not going to be able to probably see it work kind of like trying to do it by committee. You know, you got to figure, and you guys know that. I don't know. That's kind of what I've observed. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
100%. If I know anything about developing new products, you have to have a champion with a ton of energy that dedicates themselves and moves this stuff forward. So that has to happen, and that would have to be part of our. That's one of the reasons why I want to kind of meet the guy who's in charge at U.S. Soccer, because I want to know his experience with it, because I know that you have to identify your champion.
Yep. Wait,
Diego Barrios. That's him.
that's him. Yes. Program. So I don't know. I mean, he would be a good to ask about. At least it was, if it wasn't the exact program, it was a very similar program. So, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, he's now with Sporting KC. He's the director of coaching there. I know Diego if he's a contact that you guys need.
Awesome.
Thanks.
But if
Aubrey.
you already have Diego's contact and y'all are already friends, that's fine too.
No,
yeah, I know Diego,
Yeah.
so I could reach out to him if it came to something that we wanted to get his input on it. He might have existing relationships with schools that he could connect with. I'm guessing he probably doesn't have time personally, but he, based on his new job, but he would know people. So, I mean, I could, as far as I'm with Toka, which is now Toka Fusion, because we merged. So we have a big presence in Olathe and then a big presence in Wyandotte County. So I think I could probably find a person within our staff that could kind of champion it and do it. I have a couple people that are interested in doing work with the schools in Wyandotte primarily. So I could explore it if that's something you guys want. But I think, you know, we would need to, I think just asking someone to do it for free it's probably not going to, they're just not going to be able to commit the time to really get it off the ground. To get the plane off the ground takes a lot of work, a lot of passion. And so you probably want to support them pretty well at the start, at least. So, because it just takes a bit of work. And then once it gets really functioning well, you might be able to kind of, you know, it can change, you know, a little bit, but to get it off the ground, you need some help. So.
Yeah, well, thanks for offering or thinking about it with your staff. Maybe the best step, anyone here that's interested, and I'll put it in the sports sector newsletter, that's interested in meeting with Rick, maybe setting up a meeting with him to get all the questions answered would be a good next step.
Yeah, I could help you with the agenda on that, and I certainly think that we should take the next step and at least explore the idea. It is something that we could package together and take to the KC 2026 team and say, this is what we think it looks like to do something that might move the needle a little bit. And it's been tried before, and there's people that have got experience with it. And we got people like Alex and Nick, you know, helping to guide us and identify opportunities and spaces. And so I think we have everything there.
Okay, for the sake of time, I think we better move to the next agenda item, Bill.
I agree. Unless there's anybody has anything else to add. Okay. The next agenda item is to let everybody know that in October, we will have our in-person event again. We're trying to do these on a pretty biannual basis where we bring everyone together to talk about the things that are happening in our space, and excited to put this together in partnership with the Parks and Rec sector. So sector collaboration is at work, and we certainly have some great people helping us plan this out. We've targeted October 6th from 9 to 12. We're going to be in Overland Park, and the facility is awesome, and I think we're putting together a really tight agenda. The target audience for the program is to talk to providers about how adaptive sports makes a difference in the lives of adaptive athletes, and how we get more involved and to participate. And there's going to be hands-on workshops and ways for us to build our empathy muscles around this, and also some really great information exchanged. And as we put this together and spend more time kind of thinking through what this agenda looks like, we'll get the information out to everybody so that they can share it throughout the networks.
Yeah, I'll add a couple things, Bill.
Sure.
The target audience for this, it's anyone from after school providers or camps, parks and rec departments, community centers. So maybe places that aren't necessarily offering adaptive or unified sports, but are interested in maybe offering those types of programs to come learn about it. And there'll be a coach training aspect panel about working with those athletes, as well as a hands-on workshop with Dr. Laura Covert Miller from Pitt State. She's going to actually guide us through some programs and how to adapt current and existing programs you might already have to work with these athletes and try out some of the equipment they use at her facility. That agenda is not totally built out. So if anyone here has a connection to this community and would like to be involved, you're welcome to start joining those planning groups. Thane, I wanted to ask you, because I thought I remembered your students were doing something with Special Olympics. And I didn't know if you could share more about their connection with that.
Yeah, one of our doctoral students is doing this project with wheelchair basketball athletes. So he's worked with the Midwest Adaptive Program. He's done some data collection at the National Wheelchair Basketball Association tournament down in Louisiana. And we have connections with the USOPC, and he's trying to coordinate some data collection either in Colorado Springs or in Alabama later this summer or early fall. So he may be an individual who would want to participate in this planning or the programming for sure.
Great. Yeah, if you want to share my email, I'd be happy to start including them or meet.
Sure thing, I'll do that.
I do know that the Kansas Special Olympics did receive the Beyond Sports Adidas grant for host cities. And so that might be something interesting to talk about at the event in October, is what that plan is to do with that grant money. It's 3 years, $60,000 a year. So it's a good opportunity for them, and obviously a great program. And it'd be interesting to see what they submitted to Beyond Sports and Adidas to win that.
Well, you might have the opportunity. They're going to be one of our keynote speakers, so you'll have the opportunity to ask
good.
them.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, and in the planning, I'd like to, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I knew that. All right. You have something down here about flag football?
Flag football. So the other in-person event we were looking to plan was around that. But that is in the very early stages. We're just talking about it right now. With it, oh, someone. Oh.
That was my
Um,
dog,
with
sorry.
it, with it being like an emerging, really quickly growing sport in the region, we thought it was a good opportunity to host an event around it. Um, as this group, I would like your input on maybe what some topics it could be or that we pursue, or like what the focus of the event could be to like be helpful to programs that are starting
think-
these programs.
I certainly think coach training would be the huge kind of big draw there. And obviously they're going to need coaches for this girls high school in Kansas. I talked to Bill Falflick from Keisha, and they are interested in getting any kind of help and support in training coaches on how to coach flag football. I have good relationships with the football coaches in Kansas City through my partnership with Rat Coach, and they there's a whole way to coach flag football that I'm not that versed in, but there are people that are specialists, and obviously the Ottawa University coaches have already done clinics and coach training and stuff. So to me, that seems to be something that probably wouldn't be too hard to plan, and we'd probably get a lot of attention, and a lot of people might show up because they're interested in being a part of it. And we could probably get Keisha and some of the local colleges that are doing, flag football. We could probably get the Chiefs involved with YMCA, probably. I just think um, there's a lot of energy around it. So that's my 2 cents.
I will say, Bill, it came up in our, I think it was a Parks meeting. There is like a knowledge gap of how to introduce very young kids, because it doesn't seem appropriate to like have the kids actually play the game, but they don't really know about curriculum for developing to where you could actually run and tag and pass the ball, play an actual game. Do you know of any
Yeah,
of the programs that do it in the area?
I've coached from first or second grade. Dad coached football, flag football with YMCA early on. I bet Caden, I think his name's Kaysen
Kason Matthews,
from
yeah.
YMCA. Yeah, I bet he would be someone that we could point to that might have some insight into that, answering that question. Because they have leagues, for kids from early on until late, and they play in all different ways. But I know that when I was the dad coach, there was a lot better dad coaches out there than me that understood how to do it a lot better than I did. And we got our butts kicked a lot. So, but anyway, it was fun to try. And so, yeah, that would be my 2 cents.
Robin. I need to remember to
I'll
ask
I'll just
Wayman.
chime in too. I think that's a great idea, and with girls flag being sanctioned, and the NCAA is moving towards making it a championship sport as well. The timing is really good, and there is a female athlete health component to it as well, with it being promoted so heavily with girls athletes. You get some of the same issues you have with soccer, where ACL injury risk is going to be something that is going to be paramount in that sport, with a lot more girls taking the field and doing these pivoting, cutting, high velocity types of sporting maneuvers. So there's an opportunity, just like there would be with soccer, but with flag football really being emerging to ingrain some of those best known training practices early on for injury prevention. So that's just one component. I mean, there's the skill component, there's the tactical component, there's all those other aspects as well that Bill hit on. But it's a rich topic for discussion, and I think there's a lot of interest in it right now.
Awesome. Well, Natalie, I guess next steps on that would be to start a planning committee to try to plan something around that. Was that what committee did Wayman want to be a part of? Was that committee?
I mentioned both of them, so I know they have flag
Okay.
football programming, so he should probably have some interest in that one too, or could maybe share what they do in their programming too.
Yeah.
But
okay.
ideas for content, I wrote around safety, like best practices to prevent injury and specifically in female athletes. Um and coach training specifically around flag football and then girls. What else?
Yeah, I mean, I would
Developmentally
think,
appropriate practices.
yeah, I think anything that we might put on there about the X's and O's of how to manage, and that's coach training, obviously, but also, we might have an element within the discussion around actual, understanding the simple plays or the, basic plays or how to set up an
Yeah.
offense or just all those little things. Not just the opportunity to be around these kids, but
Yeah. Do you know
I mean,
Sheila?
the skill development and the strategy.
Should we engage Sheila with the Chiefs that's running the flag football programming?
I think we should at least ask her.
Yeah. Okay.
She hasn't been super responsive to anyone, but
I
I know
know.
she is with YMCA though, and that's a big deal for them. And they did single-handedly push the Kansas initiative across the finish line. So
Okay.
it would only benefit us if we could get them involved and be a part of this. There's no real drawbacks to it.
Okay. I guess I'll send her an email and it doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah, I mean, well, maybe we have a first meeting and then we send her an email so we have a little bit more structure around it and
Okay.
commitment from
Yeah.
individuals. I think reaching out to Case and Matthews would be the first. He's awesome. He's a super nice guy. I mean, I've interacted with him as a coach and then through Sharewaves too. So on a bunch of different levels, and he's been doing that position. He's been in that role for 7 or 8 years. So
Yeah.
if anybody has Sheila's, ear, he does.
Okay.
And I think he's been to this meeting before, so he knows what we're trying to do.
He was on the Project Play or the State
Yeah.
Play Kansas City committee. Yeah. Next thing on the agenda, well, I should have had Robin do this one before he left, but it was around the phase 3 of the physical activity mapping project. The Midwest Center for Nonprofit Leadership is still conducting those interviews. I've connected her a lot with the CSEC group. So she's reaching out to other sports equity coalitions across the country, doing a landscape review of their structure or their funding structure, overall goals. The idea is to come back with a recommendation for a business plan for starting a sport equity group here in Kansas City and what they think would work best. Mark is also creating a GIS map with for all the sport activities. They haven't sent that back to my knowledge yet. But from the first phase where they mapped all the opportunities, it'll be an actual physical map of where they are.
That's awesome.
And
Yeah, that's great.
then
Cool.
I'll keep going. There for those
Yeah,
that weren't
just roll
able
on.
to attend the State of Play Summit in Boston, they have updated the playlist of live streams from that summit. And they've broken them down based on topic now, so they're a little easier to pick out which ones you want to watch. So I'll put that in the chat.
Thank you.
And then for those that weren't able to attend yesterday, we had our Kansas City Healthy Lifestyles Collaborative meeting, and we had Dr. Ayo Olagoke. She presented on how AI can improve health communications for a healthy lifestyle content. And she shared a lot of tools that I didn't know existed, but I guess we're all going to be exposed to them. And like good prompts to help you facilitate AI being more useful, whether it's helping identify the most latest research each week or put alerts for CDC announcements that just are automatically sent to you, and then they're how you can generate social posts with those. It was or create tools for your own uses, but I'll put the recording to that just to let you know. There was a networking session at the beginning, so if you fast forward to like minute 10, it's where her presentation starts.
Okay.
Natalie, I have it already, if that would be helpful.
Have what? Sorry.
The link.
I think I already put it down there.
My computer's slow, it just shut up.
Okay. And then for Pete, our other sector co-lead, wasn't able to make it. The Play Like a Champion Today conference is this week. If you would like to join their live sessions, there's the opportunity tomorrow and Friday. I think it's instead of the like $500 to attend the conference, it's $99 if anyone's interested.
Awesome.
Bill, do you want to share your updates?
Yeah, and I just want to let everyone know I did a really cool golf show with First Tee, Youth on Course, and Watson Links. It'll be aired Friday at 7 p.m. on Sports Radio 810 WHB. We did get an interview with Tom Watson talking about his legacy in Kansas in the one in 3 weeks at Shoal. Watson Challenge has been at a public course. And we talk a lot about access and getting kids into golf and what it's meant to have mentors through the Watson Links program, and what Youth on Course is trying to do to make rounds of golf inexpensive for kids. So it's a really good show of great people, and the partnership through the show kind of led to a partnership that we kind of expanded through our Blasters event, which is our signature event. We identified the date that we want to try to do it. Last year we did it on November 9th, and it was probably the coldest day of the whole calendar year in 2025. It was sub 15 degrees outside, and we were still warm and toasty inside because that's the way Topgolf is built. Even when it's cold outside, it's warm in the bays. So we decided to push it to a date later in the year to give us more time to kind of schedule around other professionals that we want to have attend this next year. And we also want to kind of expand our youth golf target to get more kids come into a fun event during the Christmas holiday season. So we're doing it on December 6th. We will partner with Topgolf, First Tee, a Youth on Course, and the Watson Links again. All three organizations joining Shareways to produce a really fun night of raising money for helping kids connect to all kinds of sports, but also featuring golf. So I just wanted to share a little bit about all that stuff going on.
Great. Bill.
Yeah, and then the Coalitions for Sports Equity, that's a monthly meeting that Natalie and Robin and I attend. It's really all about the different coalitions across the country coming together, talking about how to make the Sports Equity Coalition collective impact energy happen within the communities. And the Move Together KC group, which is this Kansas City Physical Activity Plan, has kind of taken on a real strong role in telling the story of Kansas City about it. So you can go ahead and kind of share what Move
Okay.
Together KC is doing.
So through CSEC, they have a partnership with Nike right now to do a national campaign during the World Cup. During the USA Friendly Games, they had the CSEC logo on the jerseys. And now during the World Cup, they're going to promote local sport equity coalitions. So they've sent us some sample language. If we are able to feature any partners we would like to, and do the Nike tags and the sport equity coalitions, and they could feature us. So if your organization wants to be featured and co-brand something with our Move Together KC campaign, just email me and we can set up a post where we co-brand something with your organization on their socials. That same group, the Sport Equity Coalition, there's a study going on with the University of Minnesota. They're requesting interviews with local sports providers throughout the nation, particularly if you're with someone that knows or lives in a place where sport participation's been impacted by the federal immigration operations. They're looking to hear perspectives from coaches, parents, sports providers. If you agree to participate, you would be de-identified. Your organization would not be identified at all. They're just looking for real world experiences. And each participant gets paid, I think, a stipend of $50 if you participate. So if you know anyone that's willing to participate in the research, also email me and I can connect you to that research team.
Cool.
And then Johnson County Parks and Rec, both Allison and Lacey weren't able to attend, but they wanted me to share a couple things. They just hosted the Unity Cup at Heritage Park this past weekend. They had 13 different countries represented, and it looks like Honduras was the big winner. Additionally, Mike Kelly, their chairman of the Johnson County United organization, was able to present the Argentine bikers that biked all the way up from Argentina to Kansas City with tickets to the games. And then finally, they wanted to remind everyone about their Theater in the Park watch parties that are going to start next Tuesday, and that they're free. You just have to register before you go. And if anyone knows of any volunteers, they are desperately in need of volunteers for all their events during the World Cup.
Yeah. A lot
Whatever it
happening.
does. Yeah.
So good. Well, thank you so much, Natalie. Thanks for all the hard work that you put into the agenda. Thank you all for joining us. Our next meeting will be July 8th. Pete will be back. Luckily, we miss him. We'll meet again 12 to 1 over lunch, and hope you all have a wonderful summer, a wonderful World Cup experience. Is anybody going to any games? Michael, you're probably going to some games, huh? Top of the hour, 1 o'clock.
Yep.
Speak now
Yeah, Bill. I'm actually working
Yep.
the game, so I will be there.
Oh, all right. Let me know if you need
Yeah,
me to carry
FIFA.
your bag.
There you go.